So in this video, we're going to have a look at exam questions based on the content that we've already been doing on non-communicable disease and cardiovascular disease. And when we go and have a look at those exam questions, you'll see that in this topic, there's quite a few calculations, and they ask you to work with graphs and to work with data. And this isn't stuff that we kind of explicitly teach you. It's just kind of basic maths that you're expected to be able to do. But there is one question that comes up quite regularly, and you'll see it in a minute, on percentage increase, which I am going to go through with you now. So I'm going to give you a table here, and this is like what you would typically get in an exam question. So in the table, I've got a few pieces of information. I've got heart rate at rest, BPM. Okay, so this tells you how many beats per minute when you are at rest. So how many times your heart beats every minute when you are at rest. So when you're not actually doing any exercise, you're just sitting down and you're lying down. Okay, and I've got a list of different people here, and I've got Tom, and his heart is beating 80 times every minute when he's just at rest. Heart rate during exercise, beats per minute. So when Tom starts exercising, his heart rate increases, and instead of having only 80 beats every minute, his heart rate goes up to 120 beats per minute. So you should know that your heart beats faster when you are exercising, and for each of these people, okay, you can see what their heart rate is when they are resting, and you will see that their heart rate increases. There's more beats every minute when they are exercising. And a common exam question is they'll give you a table with data like this, and they'll ask you to calculate the percentage increase, which is what we're going to do now. So I've got that here in my last column. So what I would recommend is maybe pausing, jotting down this table, and then filling it in with me. But I'm going to go through it now. Okay, so the third column here, I've just got increase in heart rate. Okay, so we can see Tom starts with a heart rate of 80. It increases to 120. So his actual increase is going to be 120 minus 80 is 40. So his heart increases by 40 beats per minute. Okay, but in the question, you wouldn't be asked to just get the increase, you'd be asked to get the percentage increase. And to do this, you take the increase, which we've just calculated as 40, and you divide 40 by his original resting heart rate. So it's going to be 40 divided by 80, and then you multiply all that by 100. So on your calculator, it's going to be 40 divided by 80 equals, and then you multiply your answer by 100, and you get 50. And your answer is going to be 50%. That is your percentage increase. If we do the next one, Alex starts off with a heart rate of 60. That increases to 90 during exercise. So what's the increase? 90 minus 60 is 30. His heart rate has increased by 30 beats per minute. What's the percentage increase? I take the increase, which is 30. I divide it by the original heart rate, which is 60. And I multiply it all by 100. So on my calculator, I would be doing 30 divided by 60 equals, and then multiplying that by 100. Now the answer just happens to be the same, but no, it doesn't always have to be 50%. If we do the next one together, okay, Sarah starts off with a heart rate of 75, that increases to 100, so it's going up by 25 beats per minute when she exercises. What's the percentage increase? I take the increase, which is 25, I put it over the initial heart rate, which is 75, and I multiply all that by 100. On my calculator, I do 25 divided by 75 first, then I multiply by 100, and I get my answer, 33.3%. Okay, I'm going to let you do the other three by yourself. So pause this video, do the other three by yourself, and then press play to check your answer. Okay, so I've started to fill in my table. I've calculated the increase for Hannah and Holly and Scott. Now we need to calculate the percentage increase. So my increase was 49. So I'm doing 49 divided by the resting heart rate of 63. Make sure you do this properly in your calculator. If you're doing 49 divided by 63, the 49 should be the first number you type in, divided by 63 equals. Then multiply your answer by 100, and you get 77.5 78.7%. You could round it up to 78 if you like. The next one is going to be 52 divided by 74. Multiply that by 100 and you get 70.3%. And then the last one, I'm typing 44 in first, dividing that by 59 equals multiply by 100, and it's increasing by 74.5%. If you rounded it slightly different to me, I don't mind, because I didn't tell you if I wanted it to 1 decimal places or 2 decimal places. So I don't mind if you've rounded your answer slightly differently, as long as you've got roughly the right answer. Okay, so that is how you do percentage increase. And as I said, that is going to come up on the exam questions on this topic, which is why I wanted to go through it. So what we're going to do now is actually practice answering some exam questions together. So I've put together questions just based on what we've done in the last 2 lessons. There's 41 marks of exam questions here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the exam question on the screen. I want you to write down the answer to the question in your book. You don't need to take down the question, just write down the answer, and then you're going to mark each question as you go along. So the first question here, okay, is just a tick box. So in your book, you'll write down question number 1 and just write down if the answer is A, B, C, or D. In one part C, so there's no 1B, but in one part C, it gives you this graph, and it asks you to identify 2 conclusions that can be made from the information in the bar chart. Now that might seem like a difficult question, but it's actually really easy. They're just asking you for any 2 pieces of information that you can take from this bar chart. So look at what the bar chart is telling you, the percentage of people with mental health issues, and then look at what you've got on the x-axis here, and just give me any information that you can take from this bar chart. Pause the video, try those 2 questions yourself, and then press play to mark your work. So if we look at the answers, the first question asks you for an example of something that's physical well-being, and the answer is going to be C. Exercise affects your physical health. The others, okay, so feeling good about yourself will be your mental health, getting on well with people will be social health, and then taking painkillers for a headache, well, that's something you're doing because you're not in good physical health. So getting regular exercise is part of someone's physical well-being. So 1 is going to be C. Give yourself a mark if you got that one. For 1C, there's so many different things that you can say, and I'm just giving you one example here. So I've said, from the graph, I can see that more females suffer with mental health issues than males. Okay, females is at 23%, males is at 16%, so more females suffer with mental health issues than males. The other thing I've said is mental health issues are more common in the 18 to 25 age group than they are in the 26 to 49 age group. Okay, you could say mental health issues are less common as you get older, or mental health issues are more common when you are younger. Okay, you can say that there are less males with mental health issues than females. You can quote the actual percentages in your answer, although it's not required. Okay, but there's lots and lots of acceptable answers here, but they just have to be 2 different points gotten directly from the graph. So if you've got 2 reasonable answers, give yourself 2 marks. The next question starts with another tick box question, really similar to question number 1. So this time you are asked to tick a box that relates to mental well-being. So read the question and tick the appropriate box. And then the second question is asking you about stents, and it is for 4 marks. But there's 4 very distinctive bullet points that you need to give me. So have a look at the diagrams, see what the stent is actually doing. Okay, so you've got an artery here, which is a blood vessel. What is the stent actually doing in that artery? How is it helping? And then why is it important that that can happen? It's for 4 marks, so you're going to have to be specific. You can't just say to let the blood flow. You need to tell me what the blood is carrying and why it is needed, because it's for 4 full marks. So please pause, attempt those 2 questions by yourself, and then press play when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, we'll go through the answers. We'll focus on question 3A first. This time you're asked about mental well-being, and the answer is going to be C. If you've got good mental well-being, then it's about how you feel about yourself. So feeling positive about yourself, being able to cope with stress, shows you've got a good mental well-being. You might have gone for B, so not taking drugs or drinking alcohol. Okay, so while drugs and alcohol can be associated with people who have like mental health issues, you can have very good mental well-being and still enjoy a drink of alcohol, after work on a Friday. Okay, so it's not exclusively linked with having poor mental well-being. So just because you're not taking drugs or not drinking alcohol doesn't mean you feel positive about yourself. So D is going to be the best definition. And question 4, sorry, one thing that I probably should have mentioned. We're talking about the coronary artery. Now, we've come across that word artery before. It's a blood vessel, but coronary artery means it's specifically the blood vessel that carries blood to the heart. So they're the vessels that supply the heart itself with blood. So they're saying that this vessel that's supplying the heart with blood, you can see is getting blocked. Then you put in a stent. Why is that going to help prevent a heart attack? Okay, so the first thing you're going to mention is what the stent is actually doing. I wrote that the stent opens out the artery. Now, it's not getting rid of the fat. Okay, you can see that the fat is still there in the diagram. It doesn't get rid of the fat, but it stops the artery from collapsing and it holds it open. So because it's holding open the artery, that means that blood can flow to the heart. Okay, if that artery became really blocked, the blood wouldn't be able to flow through and you wouldn't get any blood going to the heart. The stent allows that blood to flow to the heart, which is really, really important. Okay, but you need to say why it's important. The reason it's important is because blood carries oxygen. You need to mention oxygen in your answer, and then you need to say why the heart needs oxygen. It needs oxygen for respiration. So to get full marks on that question, you need to just mention that the stent is opening the artery or stops the artery collapsing. You say stops the blood vessel collapsing. Don't talk about the stent getting rid of the fat because it doesn't do that. Then you need to say that having it open allows the blood flow to the heart, okay? Then mention that the blood carries oxygen. You need to have the word oxygen and you need to have the word respiration in order to get a full 4 marks. The next question here, it says surgery is needed when a stent is inserted into a blocked blood vessel. Evaluate the use of surgery as a treatment for cardiovascular disease. And this is for 3 marks. Anytime you are ever asked to evaluate, what you need to do is you need to give an advantage, you need to give a disadvantage, and then you need to give a conclusion. So for 3 marks, you'll get 1 mark for an advantage, 1 mark for a disadvantage, and 1 mark for a conclusion. Okay, so they're saying to insert that stent is a form of surgery. Give me an advantage of using surgery to treat this condition. Give me a disadvantage or danger. This is really, I know we haven't talked about this specifically, but this is really just generic stuff. Just use your common sense. What's a danger of surgery? And then just give me an overall conclusion of whether you think surgery is good or whether you think surgery is bad. And that's going to give you 3 marks in total. And then the next part is a calculation question. Those of you who are good at maths will probably have no trouble with it. But I want you all to have a go, and I'll go through the answer to the calculation in a minute. But pause, have a go at those 2 questions by yourself, and then press play when you're ready to see the answers. So this is the answer to part B. There are so many things that you can say. There's loads of acceptable answers. The mark scheme is really vague, really. It says anything that's reasonable will get you the marks, but you need to give an advantage, a disadvantage, and a conclusion. So my advantage of surgery is surgery may be the only way to save a patient's life, okay? A disadvantage I've given of surgery is that there are risks such as infection, and then my overall conclusion is surgery should only be used when there are no other options. Okay, there are other things you can say. So another potential advantage, you could say that surgery tackles the problem really quickly. Okay, so if you were to put somebody on drugs to tackle a problem, it would take a while for those drugs to take an effect. If you ask someone to change their lifestyle, that's going to take a long time to have an effect, but surgery is immediate, so it tackles the problem straight away. In some cases, it is the only option, okay, so it needs to be used, and it does save patients' lives when it's successful. So it is a really, really useful treatment. But when you're talking, anytime you have a surgery, no matter how small, there are always going to be risks. I've given one risk such as an infection. You don't even need to mention a risk. If you just say there are risks or something could go wrong, if you just wrote something could go wrong, you'd get your mark for your disadvantage. And then I've just written a conclusion, okay? This video can't go over 15 minutes, so I'm going to answer question 5A in the next video. So go to the next video to continue with these exam questions.